Okay, now you can hear me. Stupid OBS updates. Hello, welcome to Left of the Box. Bonjour, bienvenue. I'm Sandy. This is not my normal start. I'm not dressed how I would normally be. I usually do a little bit more for this. But yeah, thumbs up if you can actually hear me now and see me so that I know that this is working, because this is kind of very spontaneous for me, so I'm not prepared at all. Sandy. This is not my normal start. Yeah, I'm not okay. Got audio. How I would normally be. I usually do a little bit more for this. Yeah, I wasn't necessarily planning on this, but here I am. Me so that I know that this is working. Hello, Soul Life, Looney Tunes 9056, Nick Rich, Fozed, Jet, at all. And Gunstroke the Sabertonian. Yeah, there's an echo. Got audio. I would normally be. I usually do a little bit more for this. Yeah, I wasn't necessarily planning on this, but here. It looks like some audio was playing. Was there some audio playing? You have an echo. Let's see. On this, but here. What is going on? It looks like some audio was playing. Was there some audio playing? You have an properties. Echo chamber, echo, echo. Is there an echo right now? It was me, then me again 5 seconds later? My audio seems to be picking up something, but I don't know what it's from. Do you hear it now? Do I have? Oh, here we go. I think I found the problem. Mute. Okay. Can you all hear me now? I have my I play YouTube. I have my show on YouTube while I'm doing this, so that I can check to make sure that everything is all right, and somehow I left the audio on it. So you should not be hearing an echo anymore. And I don't know why I wasn't hearing it. Yeah, okay. Everything is fine. Let's start this over. Hello, welcome to Left of the Box. Bonjour, bienvenue. I'm Sandy. This is not my normal setup, hence why everything is kind of chaotic right now. Yeah, I just, I saw some breaking news and I thought, this is horrible. We should probably talk about it. So I don't have anything prepared because, yeah, for those of you who haven't been on the internet in 5 minutes, the U.S. Trump has hit 3 Iranian nuclear sites. This is not good. Not good at all. So I haven't set up anything, so please forgive me if this is a bit rocky when I'm trying to do transitions. I'm not looking the greatest right now. I was out all day at the Multicultural Festival here in town. I was volunteering at a booth, and so I'm kind of a little bit discombobulated and tired because it's been a really long day for me. Um, but yeah, in the sandbox so far, we have, if I scroll back up, Soul Life, Looney Tunes 9000, 56 Nick Rich, Bo Zed, Jet, Gunstroke the Sabertonian, Lady Crank Slot, Tea and Rants. Hi from Timmins, Ontario. Well, welcome to the sandbox. And let's see, anyone else? Okay. I think I have it all fixed out. Hello, Marty. You see, I'm tired. It's been a really long day. I was outside all day at the park, and it rained. Luckily, I was under a tent. For the Multicultural Festival, I bought a new ring. See this? It's nice. It's made out of leather. Let's see. Hello, Swift Returns. Fun fact, if you rearrange the letters in ice, it spells loser. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen either you or Lady Crank Slot in the sandbox before, so welcome. Yeah. No, I saw some breaking news and I thought I might want to jump in on this because it's horrible. But right now, my brain's a little fried with this. Is this shocking? No. Kind of saw that this was coming. And, I'm Canadian, so I'm going to add that perspective into it. I'm not entirely sure if Mark Carney has said anything about it yet, but I will be checking Twitter and sources throughout this live stream. So you're going to be seeing a lot of what I'm doing live. I don't normally cover these sorts of things live because I like to gather information, but given the nature of this, if there's some people that are worried, some people that just want to be around others, learn about what's going on in real time, I want to make my space available to you so you don't feel so alone in this moment, because it is pretty substantial. And, it's not like Canada is, not guilty of any of this rhetoric. And I reminded myself of a video, and I found it, so I will play it for you, of, remember we had an election not too long ago, and I was saying during that I'm not necessarily a fan of Mark Carney. And in my regular news live stream that I was planning on doing tomorrow, and I'm still planning on doing tomorrow, I will elaborate on that fact that I am really not a fan of Mark Carney anymore. Not that I ever was, but I was cutting him some slack. And before the election, I was saying, it's important to go out and vote. I'm not a fan of the Liberals, not by a long shot, but it was a matter of choosing which battle you wanted. And under the Liberals, the fight was going to be to improve the way things were. But under the Conservatives, the fight was going to be maintaining our rights. And as much as I dislike the Liberals, as much as they're very complacent in what was happening in Gaza, and they were selling arms to Israel and all that sort of stuff, the Conservatives would have been worse. And so just to give people an idea of what we dodged by not voting in the Conservatives, a little reminder of who their leader is still, I suppose. I pulled up this video here. Just again to remind people of why I'm grateful our battle is with Mark Carney and not Pierre Poilievre right now. And everyone, just give me a quick thumbs up if you can see and hear everything with this video all right, because like I said, this is kind of spur of the moment. I'm not really ready for this.
Israel must be able to prevent Iran from using nuclear weapons. If necessary, that means proactively striking Iranian nuclear sites and oil installations to defund the terrorist regime?
Yeah, remember when he said that he would actually like to strike the nuclear sites in Iran? I covered it at the time when I was pointing out how horrible he was. So again, just a reminder, this is why elections matter. This is who we could have had in power right now, is somebody that would have been like, oh, Donald Trump, you're going to bomb the Iranian nuclear sites? Well, why don't I just like suck your toes while you do it?
If necessary, that means proactively striking Iranian nuclear sites and oil installations to defund the terrorist regime.
I think the idea of allowing a genocidal, theocratic, unstable dictatorship.
Oh, are you talking about Israel right here?
That is desperate to avoid being overthrown by its own people, to develop nuclear weapons, is about the most dangerous and irresponsible thing that the world could ever allow. And if Israel were to stop that genocidal, theocratic, unstable government from acquiring nuclear weapons, it would be a gift by the Jewish state to humanity.
So, if Pierre Poilievre was in power right now, he would be saying that Donald Trump bombing the Iranian nuclear sites, proactively bombing them, is a gift to humanity. Reminder, this is who we could have had in power right now. Somebody who would say that what happened right now is a gift to humanity. Just want to reiterate this. Also, I don't have much planned, so I'm going to replay this.
The world could ever allow. And if Israel were to stop that genocidal, theocratic, unstable government from acquiring nuclear weapons, it would be a gift by the Jewish state to humanity.
So yes, very stark reminder there of who Pierre Poilievre was, and the absolute bullet we dodged by not electing him into power, because he would have been there like, you know, tanning Donald Trump's nuts as he was launching those nuclear attacks. But like many people probably in the sandbox right now, I don't actually know what's going on. So let's check some news sources here in Canada to see what we're saying up here. Let me also just check Twitter quickly to see if Mark Carney has, well, I don't need to check Twitter, I can just check the news. Let's see if Mark Carney has made a statement yet. No, nothing, just let's see. I did want to point out something that he did do. So let's see if this article links to it. So this is from June 13th, so just, you know, a few days ago, really. Carney calls for maximum restraint as Iran responds to Israeli airstrikes. Now, I'm going to, this was going to be part of my news live stream, so I might as well just pull it up now. I just need to find it. So, Israel just started bombing Iran. Let's see if I go to Mark Carney here on Twitter. Sorry, this is like, I'm not prepared for this, so I don't have anything kind of queued up. So not too long ago, Israel bombed Iran, always with the excuse of, oh no, they might be making nuclear weapons, you know, ever since Donald Trump decided to cancel the deal that was keeping them from making nuclear weapons. And let's see. talking about the tariffs, steel and aluminum. But there was something he said not too long ago that just made me want to grind my teeth into little nubs of baby, making it into baby teeth. Because I ground them down so much. Yes, I'm really rambly right now because I'm really not ready for this. But who could be ready for something like this? Like, really? It's scary times we're living in. Let's see. Where is it? My God, how much does this guy tweet? Okay, no, I'm on Mark Carney's page. Sorry, I know this isn't the most engaging content at the moment as I'm looking for this tweet. The thing is it's probably quicker going through his page than going through 2 weeks worth of likes on mine, because there's a lot. Let's see. Where is it? You know, it'd be very ironic that I'm looking for it and he like maybe deleted it or something. That would be unexpected and very ironic. Where is it? Oh, talking about the U.S. lawmaker being shot down by the right wing. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So back on June 13th, which is about the time of that article I was about to read. There's this. Oops, now I gotta go over here. Oh, that's way too big. There we go. So this is from Mark Carney. Iran's nuclear program has long been a cause of grave concern, and its missile attacks across Israel threaten regional peace. Why did Iran do that? Why did they do the missiles across the border there? Huh? Why did they launch missiles towards Israel? Mark, can you answer me that? Today, I've convened our National Security Council to receive an update on the situation and ensure that all necessary steps will be taken to protect our nationals and our diplomatic missions in the region. Canada reaffirms Israel's right to defend itself and to ensure its security. We call on all parties to exercise maximum restraint and move towards a diplomatic resolution. Now, do you want to know what he tweeted out when Israel just went off and bombed Iran? I could show it to you if it existed. It doesn't. He didn't say anything about it. As far as I know, well, let's scroll back. Maybe I'm just about to put egg on my face. Maybe he did say something. So if we go back, talking about the armed forces there, the plane crash, that was absolutely horrific that happened. Let's see. We will find out together how much he called for restraint when Israel bombed Iran. Let's see. No, just talking about some diplomatic stuff there. Happy Pride, Canada. I'm sure he's full of shit. Always grateful for our friends down under. More diplomatic stuff. Let's see. Not seeing it yet. I'm sure he tweeted out something when Israel decided to go off and bomb Iran. And it is right there. No, that's talking about other things. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Oh, Canada will achieve NATO's 2% target this year, half a decade, half a schedule, and an increasingly dangerous world will be ready to protect our people and our sovereignty and our allies. Yes, we're going to be adding more to our war budget. But let's see. Anything? Oh no, but there's this. He went to the Nova Musical Festival exhibition. I was going to focus on this on my live stream, but or my news stream. We'll do it right now. So, The Nova Music Festival exhibition tells the story of the brutal massacre carried out by the terrorist entity Hamas on October 7th, 2023. Young Israeli revelers came together that day to dance and celebrate, and were targeted by inconceivable violence. I came to witness accounts of the atrocities committed and hear directly from survivors and families of those murdered and taken hostage. We can't look away from this hate or from the rise in anti-Semitism we've seen in Canada since. We will fight to protect the Jewish communities at home and advocate for long-term peace and security in the Middle East. So how is Israel bombing Iran adding to that peace and security in the Middle East? Because remember, Israel did it first. Israel bombed Iran. And Mark Carney, what is he doing? He's tweeting out the fact that he went to this, trauma porn exhibit. That he just went to this. But you want to know how much he actually tweets about the atrocities in Gaza? I'd show you, but they aren't there. He doesn't say anything about the absolute horrid things that are happening in Gaza at the hands of Israel. He doesn't say anything. But he talks about him going to see this trauma porn exhibition. Here's the surf. You're complicit in genocide. Canada sold 18.9 million of military goods to Israel despite pause. Canadian companies sold 18.9 million. And so the way that my government loves to work around this thing is they didn't sell direct. What they did is, well, we're not going to sell direct to Israel, but we're going to sell to the Americans these component parts of these weapons that then will be sold to Israel. Eve's Angler saying you are fighting to enable a rogue state committing a Holocaust. So that's who Mark Carney is revealing himself to be. A Zionist through and through, maybe even worse than Justin Trudeau. I don't even know if that's possible, but damn. He doesn't say anything about the atrocities happening in Gaza. He doesn't say anything about Israel bombing Iran. But he tweets out that he went to this exhibition about the massacre on October 7th. And this is recent. Like, this is just from June 9th. That, and if we scroll back up through his timeline, where was it? See, this is why I try to bookmark these things. Oh, I suppose I could do like the back button since I'm in the same page. Because I wanted to get back to that tweet where he was calling for peace. Sorry, again, I know this isn't exactly like intriguing content, but I wasn't exactly planning on going live right now. It's just given the circumstance, I thought some people might be a little anxious and worried and want to be around others who understand. Like today I was volunteering at the Multicultural Festival with Amnesty International at the booth. And so many times throughout the day, I just remember saying to people like, I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind with everything that's happening in Gaza, what Israel is doing, and yet still so many people defending that bullshit. Let's see if I do that. Oh, no. Where was it? I'm so sorry. It was on June 13th. Okay, that narrows it down. Note to self, if I decide to cut this, which I probably won't be cutting this into a video, I will cut this part out. See, this is what you are now witnessing in real time, me doing research for my live streams. This is kind of how it goes. Let's see. Where to go? Where to go? Where to go? June 15th? He tweets a lot. There we go. There we go. There it is. So, yes, Iran's nuclear program has long been a cause of great concern. Really? Really? You see, there used to be a deal in place that made it so it wasn't a cause for grave concern. There was a deal, right? And who broke that? Donald Trump. Donald Trump broke that because there wasn't grave concern about it then. And so if you're going to break that and you have Israel committing a genocide right now, threatening to expand, quite honestly, Iran would be crazy not to look into it at this point. They would be crazy not to look into it. Just want to see what some of these comments are. So Dimitri says, you're siding with an aggressor that is committing genocide before the eyes of the world. You're a disgrace. You are unfit to occupy the position of prime minister. And the serfs with, what is it with every world leader coming to power and suddenly being like, I'm pure evil? And Yves Angler again, you should convene National Security Council. See, I like that, so I could bookmark it for my live stream tomorrow. Council to receive an update on Israel's Holocaust in Gaza. I don't know who Rashid is, but Mark, your statement today is yet another reminder of the unwritten rule that governs Western leadership: unwavering, unquestioning allegiance to Israel, no matter the facts on the ground, no matter the cost of truth to justice. And that is very true. Let's go back to the news article I was about to read. Oh, and it looks like somebody was sending in some super chats. Hello, hi, Cynthia Dathens. Ooh, I did not nail that. Thank you for the $2 super chat with the game over. Yeah, I get it. And a second $5 super chat. I think we've all been losing our minds since the start of this madness. No war, impeach at the least. Yes. It is just so many days while I was at the booth for Amnesty International. I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, there's I covered it in one of my live streams. Amnesty International has done a full in-depth report, over 200 pages, detailing why this is a genocide. And the Human Rights Watch has also detailed it. And I heard my phone go off and I realized I don't have my phone in here. I want my phone. In case somebody is like trying to text me and be like, you're doing this all wrong. I'm super paranoid because I'm not prepared for this at all. So I will just pop this up on screen and go run and grab my phone. Is my phone in here? I heard it. See, this is me being very discombobulated right now. I heard my phone, but it's not right here. I need to find it. Okay, I found it. Okay, no, the notification wasn't anything important. I just get worried that a friend is like, wow, you're like naked on your live stream and you don't even know it. It's not like, I'm fairly certain every live streamer has had that worry at some point or had that dream at some point that they were doing their live stream and suddenly realized they're naked on camera. Oh. So, let's get back to the news article. Again, I'm a mess right now. I didn't clean up or anything for this because I just wanted to kind of get on here while it's all breaking, even though that's not my normal routine. Anyway, so This is from June 13th. And so Carney calls for maximum restraint as Iran responds to Israeli attacks. But where was Mark Carney calling for that maximum restraint when Israel was bombing Iran? So Iran's missile attacks on Israel threaten regional peace, PM says. Well, do you know what started that, really? Like, this is just, again, I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind. Like, here's Mark Carney saying, oh, tisk tisk, Iran, how dare you respond to being bombed? Prime Minister Mark Carney called for Israel and Iran to exercise maximum restraint and move towards a diplomatic solution on Friday while criticizing Iran's missile strikes on Israel, affirming Israel's right to defend itself. Yes, how dare you defend yourself? Israel has a right to defend itself, but Iran, no, you do not have a right to defend yourself. Iran's nuclear program has long been a cause of grave concern, and its missile attacks across Israel threaten regional peace. The biggest threat to regional peace right now in the Middle East is Israel. Early Friday morning, Israel targeted Iran's nuclear sites and killed military leaders, scientists, with a barrage of airstrikes. Hours later, Iran launched scores of ballistic strikes on Israel. So there, the news even said it. The mainstream news said it. Israel targeted Iran's nuclear sites and killed military leaders. But Mark Carney is chiding Iran for responding. Carney convened the National Security Council and Cabinet Committee on Friday to ensure that all necessary steps will be taken to protect our nationalist and diplomatic stuff. Basically, all that stuff that I just scrambled looking for the tweet. Canada affirms its right for Israel to defend itself. No, I don't anymore. Look, that's the thing. They do not have a right to preemptively commit genocide. Israel's attacks struck the heart of Iran's nuclear and military infrastructure, deploying warplanes and drones previously smuggled into the country to attack key facilities and kill top generals and scientists. A barrage, it said, was necessary before its adversary got any closer to building a nuclear weapon. It would have been in check if Donald Trump hadn't scrapped that agreement they had. There wouldn't be any worry about that if Donald Trump hadn't backed out of that deal. It would be insane for Iran to not look into it at this point, with Israel just, starting this campaign in the Middle East and with everything going on. Like, they do have a right to defend themselves too. And I'm not so worried about them as I am about Israel, because Israel's already showing what they're doing. They're bombing, like, Gaza is a heap of rubble right now. Yet when the U.S. assassinated Soleimani, one of Iran's top generals, Iran showed restraint because they didn't want a war. They showed restraint, while the U.S. and Israel are doing whatever the fuck they want. Earlier Friday, Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand said Canada is calling for de-escalation. Then call up your buddy, Benjamin Netanyahu, and say, would you stop that? As a country, we prefer negotiated solutions and we encourage parties to get to the table, Anand said in an interview with CBC that airs Saturday. They can't. All parties can't go to the tables because there's no longer any fucking tables left in Gaza. The concerns relating to potential escalation are real, and the key is going to be de-escalate and reach a negotiated solution, she told host I Don't Care, and then added that, of course, Israel has the right to defend itself. Of course. They have a right to defend themselves. Of course. They do. No one else does. But Israel does. And Canada is concerned about the threat posed by Iran's nuclear ballistic missile program. What nuclear ballistic missile program? What? Can you show me any proof that exists at all? Any. Is that a thing? Is that a real thing? She also said the federal government is monitoring developments. The leader of Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard, General Hussein Salman, was killed was killed. Iranian state television reported in a major body blow to Tehran's government. Yeah. So, and then of course Pierre Poilievre saying Israel has right to defend itself, including by disarming Tehran's genocidal nuclear program. It is so just the way they keep on talking about Hamas being genocidal, Iran being genocidal. Meanwhile, Israel is committing a genocide. It's just really, really cute of them. Like, I just. We should all hope that this is the end of the regime's nuclear program and that great Persian people can whatever. So this is old news by now because, again, this was from the 13th and we're on the 21st. And news has escalated since. And so this is from CTV News. Breaking news, U.S. attacked Iranian nuclear sites, joining Israeli air campaign. And for those of you who weren't here, I still feel like the need to show this again because, again, I cannot underestimate the complicity of all of the Canadian government in this and what we almost had. And it's a short clip, and I just really, really want to reiterate the monster that Pierre Poilievre is. And I was hoping Mark Carney wouldn't be as bad, but given what he was saying, yeah, he is. He is.
Israel must be able to prevent Iran from using nuclear weapons. If necessary, that means proactively striking Iranian nuclear sites and oil installations to defund the terrorist regime.
I think the idea of allowing a genocidal, theocratic, unstable dictatorship that is desperate to avoid being overthrown by its own people to develop nuclear weapons is about the most dangerous and irresponsible thing that the world could ever allow. And if Israel were to stop that genocidal, theocratic, unstable government from acquiring nuclear weapons, it would be a gift by the Jewish state to humanity.
So he would think it's a gift to humanity that Donald Trump just went off and bombed them. Wow, thank you so much. Cynthia Dathans, I'm totally not saying that right, for another $5 super chat saying, I'm going back to RBN's coverage. Just wanted to say love you all. Well, thank you for coming out, and sent 20 Left of the Box gift memberships. 20 memberships. Thank you so, so much. That's amazing. Pretty much everyone who's watching right now just got a gifted membership. That's amazing. Thank you. Okay, so let's get back to the breaking news. So this is CTV News. Can close this. We'll probably get back. Might watch some of this live. But U.S. President Donald Trump said Saturday that the U.S. military struck 3 sites in Iran, directly joining Israel's effort to decapitate the country's nuclear program in a risky gambit to weaken a longtime foe amid Tehran's threat of reprisals that could spark a wider regional conflict. The reprisals might spark a regional conflict? The reprisals, not the fact that Israel is just going crazy, bombing everyone. There was no immediate acknowledgement from Iran of any strikes being carried out. The decision to directly involve the U.S. in the war comes after more than a week of strikes by Israel on Iran that have moved to systematically eradicate the country's air defense and offensive missile capabilities while damaging its nuclear enrichment facilities. But U.S. and Israeli officials have said that American stealth bombers and the 30,000 pound, that's 13,500 kilogram bunker buster bomb, they alone can carry, offered the best chance of destroying the heavily fortified sites connecting the Iranian nuclear program buried deep underground. What could go wrong? What could go wrong when you start bombing nuclear sites? You see, the thing about that sort of thing is it doesn't necessarily stay isolated to where it happens. We have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and I don't know how to say that. Trump said in a post on social media. Oh, Trump did not say that. I can't pronounce it. He can't spell it. He didn't do it. All planes are now outside of Iran's airspace. Of full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site. Fordo, all planes are safely on their way home. Trump added in a later post that he would address the national at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, this is happening live. Let's get to that. Okay. No, how do I?
Obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight.
Okay, let's do this.
United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight. Not even close. There has never been a military that could do what
as powerful as
took
yours,
place
why
just
are
a
you
little
so worried
while
about
ago.
Iran?
Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Since
Thank
when
you.
did he get all godly like that? He's usually claiming to be the god, basically. Oh, this is very short press conference from him, probably because, you know, it's way past his bedtime. Probably had to do a whole bunch of Adderall just to be there for that 5 minutes. Let's get back to the news article. So where was I? So that wasn't much. Yeah, so Trump added in a later post that he would address the nation at 10 p.m. Eastern, writing, "This is a historic moment for the United States of America, Israel, and the world. Iran must now agree to end this war. Thank you." They have to agree to it? They're not the one instigating it. They're not the ones that are, you know, promoting it to go on. It's Israel and the United States that is doing this. Trump said B-2 stealth bombers were used but did not specify which type of bombs were dropped. The White House and the Pentagon did not immediately elaborate on the operation. The strikes are I am too dyslexic this late at night. Decisions for the U.S. as Iran has pledged to retaliate if it joined the Israeli assault, and for Trump to personally having won the White House on a promise of keeping America out of costly foreign conflicts, and scoffed at the value of American interventionism. My cats get really noisy this time of night too and get into things that they're not supposed to. Trump told reporters on Friday that he was not interested in sending ground forces into Iran. Not yet. Saying it was the last thing you want to do. He had previously indicated that he would make a final choice over the course of 2 weeks, a timeline that seemed drawn out as the situation was evolving quickly. I want to see if I can find the clip. Is it this one? Oh God, that's like a 7-hour long stream. Oh, let's go to videos. Oh, it's in this one. Sky News seems to have it. Let's see, they should have a transcript. That transcript's not helpful. Just have to skip around a little bit.
Yeah. Mr. President, a question on deportations, Mr. President. You said last week that changes would be coming for farmers who have seen a lot of the work.
Where?
I'm going to follow up on the immigration real quickly.
Yeah. You have no problem. People say it's as much of our effort goes to getting people out of the... They just go over to the auto pen and sign whatever the hell they wanted to sign. Because they don't even have to get permission. They just go up to the auto pen. That's a subversion. That's a takeover of our government. And you people ought to start looking at it. That's a takeover. Not only did they cheat, I guess you saw... Yeah, these are real people. You're not real people. Your job is too easy. Okay? Thank you very much.
President, how tall is the flagpole?
Close to 100 feet.
Real quick for Pakistan, sir. You have a meeting today with the Pakistani Army Chief of Staff. What are you looking forward to achieving diplomatically?
Well, I stopped a war between Pakistan. I love Pakistan. I think Modi is a fantastic man.
So Trump on U.S. would strike Iran. I may or I may not. The way he was doing it made it sound like he was a game show host.
A question on deportations, Mr. President. You said...
Let's see. I'm just looking at the transcript right now to see if I can find it easier. If you have the link to just the clip in the just let me know. This is why I hate doing this live, because I don't have everything lined up and it's not as smooth as I would like. Let's see. Oops. Stop eliminations. Oh, this is so frustrating. I just want that one clip. May or may not. Let's see. Is it in this one? Oops. Let's see if this transcript has it.
President is keeping the world guessing.
You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate. And I said, why didn't you negotiate with me before? All this death and destruction.
As soon as he said that, I knew he was about to do it. It's very game show host, the way that he did that. I just wanted to check something else while I'm here. I didn't know if it was fake news or not. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Seriously, it's seriously. Trump installed some new flagpoles at the White House. Uh-huh. A pair of 88-foot tall new flagpoles at the White House. That is very damn intentional. Massive new flagpoles hosting United States flags have been installed in the White House grounds after President Donald Trump said they were desperately needed and that he would pay for them himself. The placement of two 88-foot tall flagpoles, one on the north lawn and one on the south lawn, began early in the morning of June 18th. A U.S. flag was later raised on the south lawn, a ceremony that included Trump's daughter Ivanka. Who cares? How do you like it, everyone? Trump said to reporters after the flag reached the top of the pole. Soon after, the second flagpole of identical height was installed on the north lawn a few hours later. Let's see. I think there was something else about him joking about, is everyone there legal who is installing them? It is a gift from me, he says, of something which was always missing from his magnificent place. Yes, a pair of 88-foot. Hopefully they will proudly stand on both sides of the White House for many years to come. Said he paid out of pocket, which cost about $50,000. I was the hunted and now I'm the hunter, Trump told reporters on June 18th. It's a big difference. Oh my god. This is just a whole lot of bullshit. Let's get back to Canadian news. And for those of you who don't know, the number 88 is a reference to the 8th letter in the alphabet being H. And so when you have an 8 and an 8 together, it's HH, which also stands for Heil Hitler. That is so blatantly intentional to do that, to have 88-foot tall poles. And I'm like, he says he's not interested in sending ground forces to Iran, but I think it's very likely at this point. I really do, actually. So Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei warned on Wednesday the United States that strikes targeting Islamic Republic will result in irreparable damage for them. An Iranian foreign minister spokesperson Ismail Baghid declared any American intervention would be a recipe for all-out war in the region. Trump has vowed that he would not allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon, and he initially hoped that the threat of the force would bring the country's leaders to give up on the nuclear program peacefully. Israel's military said Saturday it was preparing for the possibility of a lengthy war, while Iran's foreign minister warned before the U.S. attack that American military involvement would be very, very dangerous for everyone. The prospect of a wider war threatened too. Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen said they would resume attacks on U.S. vessels in the Red Sea if the Trump administration joins Israel's military campaign. The Houthis paused such attacks in May under a deal with the U.S. The U.S. ambassador to Israel announced the U.S. had begun assisted departure flights, the first from Israel since the Hamas-led attack on October 7th that sparked the war in Gaza. It's not a war, it's a genocide. War kind of, indicates that it's two forces of semi-equal stature fighting it out. No, it's just Israel leveling Gaza. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Thursday the press briefing will make a decision on whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks. Instead, the U.S. president struck just 2 days later. Trump appears to have made the calculation at the prodding of Israeli officials. Shocking. Israel said do something and Trump said okay. And many Republican lawmakers that Israel's operation had softened the ground and presented perhaps an unparalleled opportunity to set back Iran's nuclear program, perhaps permanently. The Israelis say their offensive has already crippled Iran's air defenses along... This just made me think of something. I watched this. Let's go here. Where is it? I watched it. How late was it when I watched it? Oh, it's right here.
You have this.
Just go and pop up the transcript again so that I can find what I'm looking for quickly. Sorry, Crystal and Kyle talked to Cenk Uygur recently about some comments that he made. And Kyle was pushing, so what happens when America does basically bomb Iran and every one of those Trump supporters still support Trump? I think it's right around here that they start talking about it.
The reason they are unpopular is not because the left's maximalist approach of yelling fascist at every Trump voter is working. It's because their policies are deeply unpopular.
And who explains that their policies are deeply unpopular? The left and liberals are the ones that highlight how deeply unpopular those policies are. So that's where the credit belongs.
Like I do. So
right, but that's not like Joe Rogan does, right? Joe Rogan doesn't do that. Charlie Kirk doesn't do that. They don't do that. I just said
how unpopular they are.
Yeah, but my point is, Joe Rogan and Charlie Kirk don't do that, Cenk. They're not allies. Joe Rogan and Charlie Kirk don't do that. Steve Bannon doesn't do that. Sloppy Steve goes and gives Trump a hand job every day. That's the point, is that they're not allies. And by the way, even on the Iran war thing, they're lying. They are lying. We literally have the quotes right here. Charlie Kirk is already backpedaling. Quote, we must trust Trump in this situation. Steve Bannon, if Trump ultimately decides to bomb Iran's nuclear sites, MAGA would come around. That's not me speaking, that's Steve Bannon. The vast majority of the MAGA movement will go, look, we trust your judgment. We don't like it. In fact, we may hate it, but we'll get on board. Tucker Carlson called Trump and apologized, and he also said on his podcast with Steve Bannon, quote, I like Israel. I don't talk about Gaza because my audience got mad at me. He said, quote, watching Donald Trump, who at his core is sincere about peace, I feel for President Trump, and he just has to roll with it. That is not true. What he's saying is not true. These are not allies. They will immediately start moving the goalposts as soon as Trump starts bombing Iran.
Here we go again.
You're going to get this. You're going to get, oh, he's getting bad advice from the neocons around him. It's not a big deal. It's a limited attack. It's defensive. It's not offensive. This isn't like Iraq. There are no boots on the ground. The only people who are sincere that I will grant you, Cenk, is libertarians. So Thomas Massey and Dave Smith, because libertarians have a track record like Ron Paul did of being very principled, but everybody in MAGA, or 99% of them, will bend the knee, just like 99% of the ones in Congress have already bent the knee. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's saying things that are against the war, she's ultimately not signing on to the bill to block the war.
Okay, so here we
So I don't know when this was recorded, but it premiered yesterday. And so we're about to find out in the next 24 hours who's right in this situation. Is it Kyle or is it Cenk? Who's right in this? Like, will a bunch of MAGA people who were previously saying, ooh, war with Iran, bad, Trump would never do that. No, if they're going to suddenly turn around and be like, yeah, I see Trump's point in just bombing Iran. I see it. Will Marjorie Taylor Greene still be like, oh, I'm anti-war? Will she still be like that? You know, the whole Cenk having her up on TYT saying, oh, she's anti-war. She's on our side for this one thing. We disagree on everything else, but we're right on this. Or will she suddenly, you know, change her tune too, and be like, well, Trump has a point. This is so, what's the word? When it's like, it's going to tell the future. Fortuitous or something like that. That they just had this debate. It's online for everyone to fucking see. That Cenk was still arguing that MAGA would turn on Trump if Trump decides to bomb Iran. And Kyle here saying, no, they fucking won't. We're about to find out in the next 24 hours who's right. Where do you think my money is on that one? Oh, I'm going to see if there's any more breaking news with this. No.
We'll find a new way to get where we're going. When faced with a U-turn, we'll do what...
So U.S. President Donald Trump says Iran's nuclear sites were completely and fully obliterated by U.S. strikes. Trump made the comments at the White House Saturday night, hours after announcing the U.S. military carried out strikes against 3 key nuclear facilities in Iran. The president also warned Tehran against carrying out retaliatory attacks against the U.S., saying Iran has a choice between peace or tragedy. Yes, how dare you try to defend yourself? You know, we just bombed your nuclear sites, but don't you dare retaliate against our extreme aggressive nature. Like what we just did. Don't you dare. We just killed people in your country. Don't you dare retaliate, or else it will be on you what we do next. It'll be your fault. You know, it's talk about your abusive relationships there, you know, like somebody beating their spouse and the spouse fights back and then they beat them back harder, saying, well, if you hadn't fought back, then I wouldn't have to do this. Absolutely disgusting. So this is a breaking news update. AP's earlier story follows below. The U.S. military struck 3 sites, and then that's probably just repeating the article we just read. Let's see. Also, I'm going to put the link to that YouTube video with Kyle and Crystal and Cenk. It's in the sandbox now, so you can go and watch it. It's a very interesting debate. Cenk immediately blows up, starts saying, you're straw manning me while straw manning them. Starts yelling and screaming at them and all this sort of stuff while they're very calmly trying to, like, here are facts. Facts don't care about your feelings, Cenk. Oh, there we go. But I was at a multicultural festival all day today, volunteering with Amnesty International, so I'm kind of pooped. I got this henna tattoo. Oops. Peace and love. They gave it to me free because I was the first person there at the booth, and they do that so that you can go and say, oh, I got it done over there. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if there's any more like breaking news. Let's see. Oh, Kyle's on it. Do we want to watch Kyle's video talking about this? Again, I'm not used to doing these sorts of things live, but Kyle is usually up to date with this sort of stuff. So why don't I check in the sandbox and you guys let me know if you want to see Kyle's breaking Trump launches illegal war on Iran video. It's about 11 minutes long. So let me make sure that I haven't missed anything. Nope. So Hycensia, again, 20 memberships. Really appreciate it. Let's just check the sandbox for people. People saying, damn YouTube. Okay, down you go, cat. Yes, I'm wearing a super light dress. I got this when I was a teenager, actually, from a store called Tribal Origins. And it's like a super duper light fabric, and it's a full length dress, which is nice for a hot sunny day. It was not a hot sunny day. It was raining and very, very windy. The tent next to us nearly took off. Somebody caught it just on time, but it could have caused some real damage. It wasn't pegged down properly. Let's see what people are saying in the sandbox. Human being. Oh, so glad I can watch here with you. Well, thank you for coming out. I'll keep checking to see if there's anything Canadian related with this. Grand Theft Autobot. Yep, Trump is masturbating all over the place. Ew. Swift returns. Not sure I've seen you in the sandbox before, so welcome. What an evil, lying, murdering failure. Free Luigi in Mar-a-Lago. Let's see. Hello, Amber. Not sure I've seen you in the sandbox before, so welcome. Donald Trump campaign on promises of no new wars and a quick end to the current wars in Ukraine and Gaza. None of those have ended, and the U.S. is now in a new war with Iran. Oops, yeah. So if people are just tuning in right now because you're wanting to see some live coverage of what's happening, please hit subscribe on my channel, Left of the Box. I generally cover Canadian politics, but with things like this, I just feel it's important because a lot of people might be very unnerved, very worried and scared right now with what's happening. Because it is, there's no going back. Like, I've been saying the line has been crossed and just, it's been keep on moving. It's like, oh, we've crossed that line. Well, let's make another line. Now we've crossed that line. Let's make another line. And we've crossed so many lines at this point. There's no path back. It's like it's been scratched out. There's no path back. And this is just, it pisses me off, especially when the United States or Canada does this sort of thing, because the consequences of their actions won't be felt primarily by them. You know, it's not like the United States is under threat of being mass bombed. Canada isn't either. Well, unless it's from the United States. It's so easy for Trump to start a war in the Middle East knowing damn well it's not going to come to the shores of the United States. There might be terrorist attacks, of course, but nothing to the scale of what the United States is about to do over there. Nothing to the scale of what Israel is doing. It is just, you know, stirring up a hornet's nest in your neighbor's yard and then running into your safe house knowing you won't be stung by anything that's happening. And meanwhile, you know, everything will be going to shit over there. Like, it is so easy for Trump to do that for his own reasons, his own political gains, his own motivations, his own agendas, knowing damn well it's not going to come to the shores of the United States. Not in any, again, we're talking like bombing campaigns. There will most likely be terrorist attacks. Like, again, this type of thing, it escalates. This is escalating. When they're asking Iran not to retaliate so that it won't escalate, the United States is the one who just escalated the shit out of this one. Swift return, yeah, the poles are 88 feet tall. It says, Hail Shitler twice in front of the lawn. Yeah. Jet fastest love their flags. They do. Hello, B-Cat. Oh, and is John in here too? Hello, John Davis. Sorry if I've missed your name. Carrie Woods, hello. Because I haven't, yeah, I'm a little all over the place. I'm tired. I've been up since well before I normally get up to go to the festival today. I was at the festival all day today, so I'm kind of exhausted from that. But when I saw this news breaking, I thought, it might be a good time to come on and just, it's not even to reassure people, because there's nothing I can say that would be honest to reassure people right now, because this is dark territory that we're going into, but it's more about just letting people know that you're not alone in your anxiety, that your anxiety is valid, that you're not going crazy. Because again, so many times today while I was at the booth, I just was saying to people that I feel like I'm going insane. That we see these atrocities happening in Gaza, and yet still so many people, like the Canadian government, Mark Carney, the United States, and Zionists from all over the place will still say, well, what about October 7th? Totally ignoring the fact that there is a genocide occurring right now. The official numbers is tens of thousands. I'm guessing it's hundreds of thousands. And it will be far, far many more before this washes over. Like, I was saying a long time ago, and I'm scared that I'm right on it, that the only ways Israel would stop is if the other nations forced them to, or until they completed what they were set out to do. And the other nations aren't forcing them to stop. And so the only way that they'll stop is when they're done. And I just, it's horrific. Human being, are they really that number in height? Apparently those flagpoles are 88 feet tall. Yes, I am part of this space, Looney Tunes 9000 is pointing out. So I'm on Wednesdays at 4 o'clock? 4 to 5, yes. Yeah, this Wednesday, if I can muster it, because I was saying that the last Wednesday of the month, instead of doing like my regular type of commentary and stuff, I'm going to come on and do commentary as a vampire from my book, which I have over here, my book, Necroplasm. And so there's a vampire character, the main character in here, and I played her when I went on to the Letter Hacks once to talk about my book. And so I just did role play as the vampire from this book. And so I was saying that for the last Wednesday of the month, when I do my this space, that I would do it as Minuet, the vampire from my book, and do social commentary through the perspective of a 1400-year-old vampire from my book. And it's a nice thought, but my God, with the news breaking right now, or it could be a really nice break from the news that's breaking right now. We'll see. Like, Wednesday is another decade away when it comes to news. Let's see. B-Cat, Chink is fully aware. Kyle is right, and this is a bloviated performance. Yeah. It was pretty. That was an interesting debate. Somebody actually subscribed to his channel just so that they could live react to it. So I saw the whole interview. um, because, again, if you become a member of the Sandbox, you will know that I will put nothing behind a paywall. Now, technically speaking, I could have listened to the rest of the interview. So Kyle and Crystal posted a little bit more than half of it on their YouTube channel. And to watch the rest, you would have to go to their Substack and become a $5 member to watch the video, or you could listen to the audio for free. And I understand why they do it. So technically speaking, the information is still accessible, but on my channel, there's not going to be any financial barriers to that sort of information at all, because I live with poverty. I would love to be able to support people like Kyle and Crystal and what they do. I would love to be able to support the serfs, the Majority Report, the Humanist Report, the Power Report, all of them. I would love to be able to. I can't. You know, it's not that I don't want to, it's that I can't. And I know a lot of people in my audience are like me and they live with poverty. And I don't want to deny them any content on my channel because they can't financially afford it. So then some people might say, well, then why should I become a member? Well, what happens when you become a member is the more members I have, the more financially stable I am. And the more financially stable I am, the less stress I'm feeling. And with less stress, I'm able to make more content, because the more stressed I am, the harder it is for me to come here in front of the camera. And so if I get a lot of members helping me out financially and my stress is lowered, that means I'll be able to do extra content I wouldn't have been able to do before. And so there will be live streams and video essays that are courtesy of members, but it's going to be accessible to everyone, because I don't want anyone in my community, no one in the Sandbox, I don't want anyone in the Sandbox to feel excluded from my community because they cannot afford to be part of it. That is a hard line for me. It is my line in the Sandbox. Oh, it jumped. Was saying kitty. Let's see. Jet, peace and love, perfect tattoo. I think B-Cat was saying it was pretty. Yeah, so this is the henna tattoo I got. It was free because I was like the first person. So since I was setting up first thing in the morning, I like to run around first thing so that I can get the deals or get first picks on shopping, because I save up money all through the year for things like the Pride Festival and the Multicultural Festival, because that's where I splurge the most. And I got a whole bunch of matching thumb rings. I got this ring here. It's made from leather. And it's really pretty. So it's like the time that I get jewelry, sometimes a new skirt and stuff. But yeah, I love the Multicultural Festival and the Pride Festival. So when I get gifted money for like birthday or Christmas and stuff, that's what I save my money up for, is for these events. And so then I like running around first thing in the morning, or like right before the event officially starts, so that I can have first picks of the jewelry and things of that sort. I saw a bracelet that I so desperately wanted. It was like a silver bracelet, but then there was like a gemstone Saturn on it. And oh my God, I wanted it so much, but it was $55. And I do have a line that I don't cross with jewelry. Grand Theft Autobot, I like Kyle. Yeah. He's growing on me. Swift returns. Hello, I'm so glad to have found the channel. I'm in Guelph, Ontario, so it's great finding someone in Southern Ontario take on things. I saw you on this space the first time. Well, welcome to the Sandbox, and yes, we are neighbors in the Canadian speak of neighbors. Hello, Wanda M. Let's see. I've been rambling so much, I have no idea if people are interested in seeing the Kyle video. Hello, Mark Joycey. Wow, you're up. Yeah, you'd be tired. You're over in the East Coast there. some people saying that, Bad Lefty saying, sadly, I agree, Sandy. And I don't know what it's for. I'm so far behind. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm so far behind in the sandbox. Please put thumbs up right now if you want to see the Kyle video on the illegal war in Iran. It's about, it's just under 12 minutes long. John Davis says Minuet is fire. Yeah. Well, Swift returns. If you go to the Letterhacks channel, you should be able to find the video that I was in. It was a couple months ago where I went on as Minuet from my book. And so this Wednesday, providing, you know, the world still exists, because like I said, this Wednesday is a decade from now, news-wise, I'll come back on as Minuet and to have people kind of a little bit in the know of what's going on. I might read like the first chapter of my book, but you can also see the first chapter of my book. I read it on a Halloween, the last Halloween show I did, where I always dress up like a vampire. Anytime I get to role play a vampire is a good time for me. But it'd be worth me rereading it because I've made changes to it since. Because back last October, it was still in the ebook format only. But I upgraded earlier this year to paperback, and I made some changes in it because I have ideas for prequels and sequels. So I made some minor changes to it. So I might do that. Mark saying, I'm just floating along in complete nihilism toward inevitable collapse. Yeah, like that's the thing. I don't know if there's anything I can say that would just reassure people right now. There is no reassurance right now. Okay, I'm seeing thumbs up. So I'm going to steal Kyle's content. I haven't seen this, so we are watching it together. Eventually.
All right, y'all, I got some absolutely major breaking news here for you. Donald Trump just launched an illegal and offensive war against a country that didn't attack us, Iran. So let me tell you exactly what he said here. We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including...
Is it possible for anyone to quote Donald Trump these days and not do some sort of weird voice? Like, this is one of the things, like the random things I think about when it comes to like the history books, because right now we are writing the history books of the future. What are they going to say about the global accent when it's like, you know, the effect that Donald Trump had on everything, that it actually changed our speech patterns? That I don't think it's possible to quote Donald Trump without doing some sort of dorky voice with it. And it will be a fascinating, you know, if we survive the next 100 years, what historians will say about the what's the word when everyone gets behind the same thing, like cultural, not a cultural event, but there's like crowd mentality or something when it comes to quoting Donald Trump.
Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iranian airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There's not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Yes, he actually said that. He had the nerve to say, immediately after launching an illegal and offensive war against a country that didn't attack us, he had the nerve to say, now is the time for peace. That's like walking into a bar, knocking somebody out and breaking their jaw, and then when they get up and square up to fight you, you say, hey man, I just want peace, bro. Now's the time for peace.
Like, that is so bizarre. I'm trying to think, like, a different analogy was kind of popping into my head. Sorry, I'm cracking open. I got this cookie at the Multicultural Festival. Cookie filled with milk chocolate. I don't know how to say that, but it was really yummy. I had a sample of it. If you can see the label there. But I had a sample of it and it was really yummy. And so now I'm going to eat the rest of it because I need some sort of energy source. Because I've been up really late or early today, and now Normally I'm unwinding this time of night. I'm not unwinding tonight. But yeah, like this whole idea of like, oh, we just bombed you, but we need peace right now. It is absolutely ridiculous. Like there was an analogy that just briefly popped in my head about it. I'm trying to think about what it was. It's like the instant you want to fight back, oh, well, sorry about that. We need peace. Like I was just hitting you because I didn't think you would actually try to fight back. Like I was just, you know, bashing you over the head over and over again. But now that you're actually going to fight back, well, I didn't think you were going to. And so now that I know you are, then let's call for peace. Because I thought I could just get away with this. And if I can't just get away with it, well, then we need peace.
Well, if you wanted peace, maybe you shouldn't have broke that fucking person's jaw. This is mental, what we're witnessing here. So, don't say you weren't warned. I warned you about this in advance. There was detailed reporting that came out, like, for example, from Sy Hersh. Sy Hersh said the decision was already made, not only to attack the Iranian sites, but he says also to do regime change in Iran. Now, understand something. All the talk about Iranian's nuclear program, it's all bullshit. It's all a smokescreen. It's the cover story that they're using to go after the Iranian regime and try to get rid of it because it threatens Israeli hegemony in the region. Because, stop and think about it, who pulled out of the 2018 nuclear agreement that Iran was abiding by completely? Donald Trump did. So over a dozen times the UN said, yes, everything's great. They're only enriching uranium so that they could get power for their power grid and for scientific research. Donald Trump ripped it up, lit it on fire, and took a shit on that agreement. And then the U.S. had the nerve to turn around and lecture Iran and say, why aren't you guys abiding by the deal? You mean the deal that you just ripped up? What are we talking about? Now, by the way, they also, let's be clear, were not building a nuke. They were not building a nuke. Did you know that either the U.S. or Israel or both just tried to assassinate an Iranian negotiator a few days ago? So as Trump was pretending like, bro, I'm going to give him one last chance. We'll have one last...
That's the thing. We're so... The stereotypes we're taught over here. Just, oh, what's the word? I'm sorry, I'm tired. And as people who regularly watch my channel know, I have trouble remembering words that I want to say when I'm super tired like this. But just the fear-mongering about people in the Middle East, that they can't be trusted with bombs, that they're the troublemakers, that, oh no, if they get a bomb, then everything is going to go to shit. Whereas the United States is the only country to have actually used a nuclear bomb before. And when I look at what Israel is doing, when I look at what Donald Trump is doing, why would anyone think they're more rational than the people in the Middle East? Like, what is the difference there? Well, we know what the difference is. It has a lot to do with skin color. But again, I keep on going back to the fact that when the United States assassinated Soleimani, Iran didn't escalate it. They stepped back because Trump wanted the war back then too. Iran really does not want this. They don't, because they know they don't stand a chance. They know that if the United States and Israel, you know, really decide to go with the bombing campaign, they're the ones that are going to be hurt the most. Again, it is so, what's the word? There's a word I can't remember right now, but it is so, it's not sweet, so arrogant, so something. It's a word that actually means the opposite of in the context that I'm thinking of. That the United States will escalate and do all these wars over there when they know it's not going to come to the shores of the United States.
Last run at this peace deal. In the midst of Trump saying that, they tried to assassinate another Iranian negotiator. They already murdered, Israel did, one of the other top negotiators. They murdered their nuclear scientists, including their top nuclear scientists. They murdered military officials and political officials, and they also bombed departments.
Rich, that's the word. It's so rich that the United States would do all of this. in the Middle East, knowing very well it's not going to come to the shores of the United States. That's the word I was thinking of. You're getting weird to me this late at night when I've been up this long and I'm under this much stress.
Buildings where they ended up getting many civilians. This is what's happened already. And the entire time the U.S. and Israel are on the offense and aggressively starting a war, they play the victim and they pretend like, bro, Iran's out of control with this nuclear stuff, bro. Your own intelligence agencies say that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon. So understand that is just the cover story. What they really want is regime change. They really want to get rid of this government. They want to do exactly what they did in Iraq against Saddam Hussein. So I feel like we're right back in 2002. And by the way, don't even get me started on the media. I listened to a little bit of CNN and listened to a little bit of Fox News, and I wanted to fucking take a pair of pliers and shove them in my fucking eyeball listening to them. Everything was it was such fucking propaganda. It was all, oh, Donald Trump felt like he had no choice.
That's the word that I was looking for earlier. The propaganda spread about the people in the Middle East and how they're the ones that can't be trusted. They're the terrorists and all that sort of stuff. And yet the biggest act of terrorism that have been happening in the Middle East right now is because of Israel. And the United States globally has committed horrendous acts of terrorism. Like there's Iraq, and what happened there. And the fact that there is a generation of children that were afraid of sunny days because it was on the sunny days that the drones would strike. Like how disturbing is that? And a lot of them didn't even know why the United States was attacking them. Just like there's people in Hamas or in Gaza right now that have no clue why Israel is doing what they're doing. They're just living this nightmare, this hellscape, and they don't even know why.
Because of Iran being 2 weeks away from a nuke. They've been saying they're 2 weeks away from a nuke since fucking like 1992. This is such bullshit. All of it is such bullshit. So Trump also retruthed something that said Fordo is gone. So Fordo is their main nuclear site. It's at the base of this big mountain, which means, look, number one, we don't know if that's true. But number two, if it is true, originally the thought was, hey, maybe they're going to use 5,000-pound bunker busters, right? They even floated the idea of maybe using a tactical nuke. Crystal told me what they may have settled on was a 30,000-pound bomb, which, like, Jesus fucking Christ. So basically, it's like the Moab, the mother of all bombs.
So these two were, like, spot on. So that little debate that they had with Jank, when it comes to who am I going to believe, their analysis and their predictions, it's Crystal and Kyle. Because the news article we just read said that it was 30,000-pound bombs that were dropped.
Which Trump also dropped on Afghanistan in his first term. It looks like that may be what they used here. We don't know for sure. It could have been, multiple rounds of 5,000-pound bunker busters or a 30,000-pound bomb. But we know that it happened because there was seismic data that was recorded in the region at the time. And so they definitely attacked 3 nuclear sites. Again, I want to reiterate, this is massively illegal from the Trump regime. This is illegal. This is unconstitutional. Only Congress has the authority to declare war. Only Congress. He swatted that aside completely. He doesn't care about the Constitution. He uses it for toilet paper, right? So now the point is you have to impeach. You have to impeach. By the way, all the Trump voters out there, all of MAGA, who pretended like he was anti-war,
people need to be going to the fucking Hague right now. And I'm talking like the government of Israel, the government of Canada, the government of the United States. There are so many people there that are responsible for human rights violations, atrocities, massacres, all of it. Impeachment isn't enough. These people need to be on trial for war crimes. All of them, across the board.
Meanwhile, we already knew from his first term that this guy is colossally pro-war. How's it feel now, dog? How's it feel now? I'm waiting for my fucking mass stack of apology forms to come across my desk because I warned all of you about this time and time and time again. This is the same guy who increased drone strikes over 400% in his first term, and you have the nerve to call him the pro-peace candidate? This is the same guy who kept us in Iraq and kept us in Afghanistan and bombed Syria twice and bombed Somalia and assassinated Qasem Soleimani and tried to coup Venezuela, did all these fucking horrible things. But no, you guys have the nerve to try to pretend like, no, you don't understand. This guy's actually the pro-peace candidate. It's Kamala. Kamala's the warmonger. She's the massive warmonger. Well, now Donald Trump has officially launched an illegal and offensive and aggressive war against Iran, a country that didn't attack us and they weren't going to attack us. Trump attacked them first, along with Israel. Understand that? Understand the chain of events? It's super important.
And again, it seems like it should be clear to anyone. How would Iran launch a war, an attack, like a war against the United States? What would that realistically look like? You know, again, it's not like any country over there has the capacity to launch missiles to the United States that wouldn't be detected well ahead of time and taken out. Like, when it comes to militaries, no one competes with the United States. The United States has the biggest, baddest military around. The people in Iran are a little bit more sensible than starting a war with the United States, knowing that it means the death of their country should they do that. Like, why would Iran launch a war against the United States? Like, this isn't even a thing. It's not a thing. But for the United States to constantly be like, oh no, we have to protect ourselves from Iran. Why? What would they do? What could they possibly do? Again, there will most likely be terrorist attacks coming from this. But we're not, like, again, it's the fear that the Americans live in under the threat of this terrorism is all artificial. Because, again, there will be some, but they're so few and far in between. They're more likely to be shot by one of their own American citizens on some sort of murder rampage than they would be caught in a terrorist attack. But they live in fear of the terrorist attack and not so much of being caught in that mass murdering American. Like, to them, they're just numb to that. But they're afraid of Iran launching a war against the United States? How would that work? How? Where are their bases? Like, is there one on Baffin Island I don't know about? Like, what are they, how are they going to do that? Are they going to start blaming Mexico, saying Mexico has, secret Iranian war bases there, military bases there? It is impossible for another country with the state of technology the way it is to be a serious threat to the United States.
You get that. Use your common sense. Use your reason. Don't be fucking tricked by all this stupid propaganda where they're going to pretend like, oh, Iran had a nuke that they don't have, and they were building a nuke that they weren't building, and that's why we had to do it, bro. We had no choice. So, by the way, a lot of big open questions now, right? What does Russia do? Russia is a big ally of Iran. They don't fucking like this one bit. What does China do? China's a big ally of Iran. They don't like this either. So, hey, it's almost like different parts of the world are on different sides, and Trump just launched a massive war. So would we call that a world war that could potentially unfold because of this? It's absolutely possible. It's absolutely on the table. I wish it wasn't. But when you have a government like the U.S. and Israel, who are so fucking unhinged and so bloodthirsty, and they're not connected in any way, shape, or form to reason or reciprocity or international law, this is where you end up. But more importantly, okay, so now, look, it's existential for Iran. This is an existential thing for Iran. So what are they going to do next? Well, there's a bunch of things on the menu. Iran could launch against our military bases in the region. They could do it now. They could do it in the near future. We don't know. But they could absolutely wreck our military bases and our infrastructure in the region. That's on the table. They might go as far as to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which, of course, would be a catastrophe for the global economy. Just an absolute mess for the global economy. And everybody would feel that if they decided to do that. That's another thing they could do. And then cyber attacks are potentially on the table. In fact, as I'm talking to you literally right now, we get the word that Truth Social just went down. Is that because of an Iranian cyber attack as a direct result of Trump illegally bombing Iran's nuclear facilities? It's very possible. It's very, very possible.
Also, keep in mind these days with the brain drain that's happening in the United States right now, they're going to be more and more susceptible to cyber attacks. Because all the intelligence is leaving the United States, and there's no one being left there to defend it other than someone like Elon Musk, who has his own agenda and probably has made a lot of loopholes for people to exploit when it comes to cyber attacks. So that is something that could be a realistic warfare that another nation causes on the United States. But like the idea of Iran launching, like if Iran had a nuke, so what? If they were to launch the single nuke that they make, then that would mean the death of their country. Like their country would just be leveled should they do that. But, you know, attacks against the economy, attacks, cyber attacks, those are very probable and they can be very targeted. And with the way that education is going in the United States right now, the way that they're anti-intellectual, the way that they're anti, you know, getting an education at a university or a college and stuff, they're going to be super susceptible to these sorts of attacks when it requires intelligence, like I'm talking about like smarts, in order to fight back against it. And with all of the people in the United States who are afraid to stay in the United States, should they have certain diplomas and stuff, and feel it's too unstable, or maybe they're an immigrant, or maybe they're queer and they don't feel safe in the States anymore and they're going to all these other countries, well, that's where all the smart people are going. And so there's a massive brain drain going on in the United States right now, which is just making them prime target for cyber attacks because they won't have enough people there to know how to fight it off.
That's what happened here. So this is, we knew it was coming. I told you it was coming, but that doesn't make it any less horrible when we actually see it. Trump just launched an illegal and offensive war against a country that didn't attack us and lied about the justification. Oh, they have a nuke, or they're about to have a nuke, and that's unacceptable. They don't have a nuke. They weren't building a nuke. You are a fucking warmonger who wants regime change, and the Israel lobby has paid you hundreds of millions of dollars, and you're also doing their bidding. So, welcome to the era, not just of neocon warmongers, but we're beyond that now. We're at neocon warmonger imperialism. Imperialism, that's what we're witnessing, which is why this is the same fucking guy who threatens to steal Greenland, who threatens to own Gaza, who threatens to steal Panama, who threatened war with Mexico. He's got a laundry list of like...
Are you not going to mention what he was saying about Canada in that statement, Kyle? I was a fan, but seriously, that slight? Not mentioning that Trump was wanting to make Canada the 51st state in that rant? I don't know. It's over. It's over between us. Our parasocial relationship is done.
10 fucking countries he's either threatening or already bombing, like Yemen or Somalia. And again, MAGA had the nerve to tell me he's the peace candidate. Well, tell me how my fucking ass tastes now, bitch. Because I warned you all this was going to happen, and now it's fucking happening. Again, I'll be waiting for those apology forms. But watch what happens now. Because most of the MAGA commentators will move the goalposts. Now it'll be, bro, this was just like, he got bad advice from the people around him, bro. Trump's the pure one, and his heart was in the right place, but like the people around him did it and sort of made him do it, bro. That'll be one of the things they say. The other thing they'll say is, oh, he offered them a last-minute deal, and they said no. And so, therefore, since they walked away, Trump gave them a chance, and they walked away. So what was he supposed to do? They will find a way to move the goalpost. Oh, it was just a quick strike, and now we'll get out. And again, wait for it. The end goal is regime change. So what happens from here? How quickly do they move to that? Does the U.S. do it? Does Israel try to do it? Do they both do it, right? How long is the timeline on that? We don't know. But anything and everything is on the table now because what we just witnessed now should have been off the table. An illegal and offensive strike against a country that didn't attack us, okay? Impeach, impeach, impeach. No more questions, no more debates, no more fucking Democrats tucking their tail between their legs and running away, scared of their own shadow. If you don't impeach now, you have no balls to ever do anything right ever. If you don't impeach over this, you also wouldn't impeach if Trump decided, I'm going to fucking nuke Greenland or some shit, right? Because there's never been anything that's more of an open and shut case. You cannot make any argument that, oh no, this is legal, this is constitutional. What they try to do is say, oh, you know, remember that that thing we passed, the authorization for use of military force against like Iraq and Afghanistan for the war on terror in the early 2000s, yeah, that counts now. Over 20 years later for this fight, which has nothing to do with that fight, right? That's the bullshit they try to do, but it is so transparent. It's so obvious that's nonsense. It's so obvious this is illegal and unconstitutional. The law has to matter. It has to matter. Holds him accountable. Impeach him. Full court press. Argue against this not just from a procedural and process perspective, but also argue against it from a substantive perspective, guys. This is insane what we're witnessing here. So, unfortunately, major breaking news. Donald Trump has officially launched an illegal war against Iran. He's attacked their 3 nuclear sites, including their main nuclear site. They were not building a nuclear weapon. They were not. So this is deeply criminal. This is war criminal shit. And now, who knows what else is on the table? But as I said, now what we might see is Iran tries to hit our bases in the region, might shut down the Strait of Hormuz, might launch cyber attacks, might come up with something that, I can't even think of now. Might find an even bigger hypersonic missile to launch at Israel or something. Like, who knows what else is on the table, because they just opened the door to hell.
Yeah. Oh, there's other people covering this live right now. Vosh has 12K people watching. The CBC News has 7.1K watching. I just want to say, I have 26 wonderful, amazing people watching. You guys rock. You rock. So the full speech of Donald Trump made is available already as of 5 minutes ago from CBC News. I want to play it again in its entirety because it's under 4 minutes long and we missed part of what was said. So I will play Donald Trump's speech that he gave at 10 o'clock about what he did.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horrible...
He heard those names for the first time, being coached on how to say them for this.
...destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace.
Sorry, who's the bully of the Middle East? Iran? Not Israel, the one that is actively committing a genocide, has bombed Iran. This is not the first time that Israel has bombed. You know, they've been doing this for a while. You know, attacking other areas around that around them, invading the West Bank yet again. Like, who's the bully? Who? Huh.
If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty.
Hey, don't get that out of your mouth, cat. And so these military people who have been victims of these roadside bombs, what were they doing there?
Lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by...
Didn't the United States kill like 1 million people in Iraq? Like, isn't it like 1 million people or something like that? Just saying. Who's the bully again?
By their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before.
Yes, you want to
And we've gone a long way to
currently has an ICC warrant out for his arrest for committing, war crimes.
Facing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago.
He looks so constipated right now. Like he's just trying to hold in the loudest fart possible. This douche canoe looking really good too. This guy looks scared out of his wits. Like, oh, so that thing that I've been wanting, where actually it's like the dog that caught the car. That's that expression right now. He is the dog that caught the car and is like, oh shit, now what?
Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military protection.
Yes, God, thank you for giving us bombs to kill people indiscriminately in a nation that we'll never see and that most of the citizens can't even point out on a map.
Protect them. God bless the Middle East, God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
No, thank you. Let's see. I think CBC was covering this live too. I am starting to crash. Like, I've been up really, really early this morning. Let's see if there's something else to watch. I thought CBC was live. I'm looking for Canadian sources because I know all you Yanks will be using Yankee sources. And I'm like, I'm going to be original and use a Canadian source. Ha ha. Oh, maybe they're just not live anymore. Oh, Crystal and Sagar react to Trump bombs Iran. Breaking points. Oh, it's premiere launching now. Yeah, this is scary times, and I wish that I could give people reassurances, but there's really not much that, can be done. Because it's one of the things, like, I was watching I was taking part of a seminar, online Zoom seminar of Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, and their justification for calling what's happening in Gaza a genocide. And one of the investigators was saying, like, as bad as you think it is in Gaza, it's worse. This is just, there's no sugarcoating this. There's no, like, it's just, we're going into a very uncertain next 24 hours, a week. This is totally manufactured by Israel and the United States. This is 100% avoidable. It never had to happen. But we're talking about the egos of Donald Trump and Netanyahu and their own criminal agendas in doing what they're doing. Like the idea that they're willing to start this war that could cost the lives of millions. Because they're afraid of going to prison. They're afraid their corruption might be found out. There is no hell hot enough for them. Let's see, actually, Al Jazeera is live right now, I think. Al Jazeera might be a good source. Let's see. Oh, would you imagine that? Cenk Uygur has posted a video. He went live and has one that's just over 20 minutes long that says US bombs Iran. Trump starts war. You know, there was that debate he just had with Crystal and Kyle. I wonder if he talks about that. And I'm not going to watch that video with you guys because I'm crashing hard, and that's just a lot of bullshit that I don't need to hear right before I try to go to sleep. Like, I'm already planning on showering, but there's not enough soap in the world to wash the stench off of myself after watching another TYT video from Jank. But just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This video here. I was just checking. You know, I could just type in Al Jazeera to see if they're live right now. And it's like the #1 thing being searched right now, I guess. There are 60,000 people watching. Oh, and then there's 245,000 watching in the Arabic one. In the English one, it's 60,000 watching. Okay, let's get a quick peek over this, and then I might call it quits for the night, because I still plan on doing my regular news live stream tomorrow. That will be, again, more Canadian-centric. Canadian news. There's a lot to get caught up on because I didn't do a live stream last Sunday because I was too busy with other things in my life. Good things. So I didn't do a news live stream last week. So I'm behind on my news, and there's been a lot of Canadian news to be getting to. So we'll see where that goes. I'll probably be doing updates on what's happening with this tomorrow as well. But let's just check in with Al Jazeera for a bit and then probably call it a night.
Reversible damage, and he said that previously that is going to lead into escalation. And it was also Iranian president, Iranian foreign minister, they're all saying that this possibility, which is now getting translated into reality, runs the risk of dragging the entire escalation, which is already in an unprecedented level, to a next level, in which there is a possibility for a regional all-out war scenario that is a very dangerous scenario, according to Iranian officials. And Iranians are saying that we haven't prepared for this. We talked to one of military officials, security officials. He said that we
Sorry, this broadcast breaking news was being broken by a licking cat.
when it comes to Iranian response.
This
But
breaking
now
news with an
that
adorable cat.
red line is crossed. American intervention, something Iranians were warning about, is there as a part of reality on the ground. But still, we have to keep waiting to see how Iran is going to formulate its response.
Okay, Tawhid, we will, of course, be checking in with you throughout the morning here when we get more reaction from Iran. Tawhid Asadi in Tehran there. Tawhid reminding us that the Iranian Atomic Agency has said there is no sign of contamination and no danger for the people living in the area of the three sites that were attacked by the United States, those three sites being Natanz, Isfahan and Fordo. And we're also hearing from regional nuclear agencies, the Saudi Nuclear and Radiological Regulatory Commission, saying no radioactive effects were detected on the environment of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Arab Gulf states as a result of the U.S. military targeting Iranian nuclear facilities earlier today. Now, just before President Trump delivered his address, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu issued a pre-recorded video statement on the U.S. strikes on Iran. He said history will record the U.S. acted to deny Iran the most dangerous of weapons. Take a listen.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history
right now
that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace. President Trump and I often say, peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, President Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength. President Trump, I thank you.
On his face.
The people of Israel thank you. The forces of civilization thank you. God bless America. God bless Israel. And may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
For more on this, let's bring in Hamda Salhout, who joins us from...
I just want to show this again because I don't want people to forget this. When news starts coming out, I don't want people to forget who this guy is.
Israel must be able to prevent Iran from using nuclear weapons. If necessary, that means proactively striking Iranian nuclear sites and oil installations to defund the terrorist regime.
I think the idea of allowing a genocidal, theocratic, unstable dictatorship that is desperate to avoid being overthrown by its own people to develop nuclear weapons is about the most dangerous and irresponsible thing that the world could ever allow. And if Israel were to stop that genocidal, theocratic, unstable government from acquiring nuclear weapons, it would be a gift by the Jewish state to humanity.
That guy must love the taste of Trump's balls at the back of his mouth. A gift to humanity. Also, where is... I don't want people to forget who these monsters are. If they ever try to backtrack. Once, again, it's like the dog that caught the car. Like, oh, we were all talking shit about it, but now that it's actually here, we didn't mean actual war. I don't want people to forget these monsters and what they actually said. I don't want people to forget these monsters.
In a country like Canada, it should be and it must be safe to declare oneself a Zionist, Jewish or not. Zionism is not a dirty word or something anyone should be targeted for agreeing with. It is the belief, at its simplest, that Jewish people, like all peoples, have the right to determine their own future. Shortly after the Holocaust, Israel was established as a safe haven for Jewish people, a place to live in security and with dignity, a place to build a future without fear, threatening, harassing, and excluding Canadians because of their faith, their identity, or because...
I don't need to see any more of that, but also... Where is it? Videos, maybe? Where's the volume on here? Okay. I think this is it. We'll find out in just a minute.
in Canada should ever be afraid to call themselves a Zionist. No one in Canada should ever be afraid to call themselves a Zionist. I am a Zionist.
We must never forget these monsters and what they said and what they stood for. And Mark Carney isn't doing any better right now. He just hasn't come out and outright declared he's a Zionist. Okay, I'm going to check the sandbox and then I'm calling it a night because I still need to try to unwind for the evening before I do my live stream tomorrow and stuff. Come here. Come here, sweetie. There we go. There we go, sweetie. So let's check the sandbox. Hey, sweetie. Ow. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. I need to trim your claws. Yes, I do. Oh, this is a short live stream. It's only just been over 2 hours. Oh, but as you can see, I'm not exactly prepared for it. I'm looking kind of plain. Wearing my summer dress that I had on today for the festival because I was outside all day today. And it was supposed to be hot. And when the sun was out, you could feel the heat, but it was overcast a lot of the day and it rained and it was very windy. So this dress was not called for today. But other than the rain and stuff, it was a really nice day for a multicultural festival. And then tomorrow I will be hopefully doing a live stream, providing I'm not completely pooped. Then we're getting into a heat wave here in my area, like that's going to last a few days. I've stocked up on goods. I'm not going to be leaving my apartment. I do not do well in the heat. So hopefully I'll be able to, I had some other projects that were on the go, and those projects are now done. So what this means is hopefully I can now finally focus on getting that TYT video done and off my plate. Because the sooner I get that done and off my plate, the sooner I get to start working on sequels and prequels to this book. And that is something I desperately want to do because I escape into this world every day. Every day, every chance I get. And I have built up such a world. And all these dots are connecting in ways that it seems impossible that your mind could come up with. But all these dots are being connected. And it's such a vibrant universe for this book based off of the cover. But it has its own universe and I live in it every day. And I like living in it. It's an escape. I like going there. I've had dreams about terms that I'm going to be using in the book because I have to make up certain words and stuff that to relate to some of the relationships and whatnot. But yeah, I want to desperately get back to working on those books, or well, to start working on them, not get back to it. But for me to do that, I've decided that I need to do the TYT video first. And so then that's off my plate. Okay. Let's see what people are seeing in the sandbox. Let's see what people are seeing in the sandbox. Saying in the sandbox. People commenting about Donald Trump. FG. JD doing his best Charlie Kirk impression. The Wild West. God screening his phone calls. B-Cat. They're all insecure, emotionally stunted little boys. Looney Tunes 9000. Get some sleep, Sandy. Yeah, I'm going there. I usually go to bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning, but since I was up before 7 a.m., I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Carrie Wood saying that color looks really good on you, Sandy. Why, thank you. Got this dress when I was a teenager at a store called Tribal Origins. They had a whole bunch of fun stuff there that I loved going in and buying. If you heard that cry, it was Frodo. He hasn't been eating as much as I would like him to eat. I'm giving him more subdural fluids to help hydrate him, but if it wasn't for the fact he wasn't eating all that much, you would never know there's anything wrong with him. Like for an 18-year-old cat, he's still playing. He's still agile. He can jump up on my bed. He's affectionate. Like you would never, looking at him, you would not think that cat is 18. Because I've had senior cats before, and you could just walk in the room and be like, yeah, that's a senior cat. With Frodo, you cannot tell that. You would just never. So if it weren't for the fact that he wasn't eating all that much, which has me worried, you wouldn't know anything was wrong with him. That cat is my world. It's been in my world for 18 years. Oh, I worry about him all the time because I don't know what I would do without him. Looney Tunes 9000 suggesting to people to buy my book. Yes, if you buy my book and read it by Wednesday, you'll know all the context for when I play Minuet on this space. FG, your honesty is reassuring, Sandy. Let us know we're not all crazy for feeling the same way. That is really all this is right now. Is just some reassurance that what's happening in this world, what we're seeing, we're in the right. Like, the reason why we're feeling crazy is because we're seeing all these atrocities happen, and we feel horrible at seeing these atrocities happen, but we're in the right on this. There was one Zionist that came by the booth today, but I got pulled away. Otherwise, I probably would have punched him in the face. Polite Zionist, but still I wanted to punch him in the face. I don't condone violence. It's an expression of speech. Are you going to come up? You can. There we go. And now we have an Abernathy. B-Cat, Jed is right. Sandy, it's important to allow yourself rest and break from the horrors happening. Yeah. Well, when I focus on the TYT video, it's not about the current horrors, so there's that at least. But then escaping into my book is all I want to do afterwards, and yeah, that is definitely an escape from all these horrors. I escape from these horrors by going into a horror book. Come on, people will want to see you. You chunky kitty. Chunky kitty. Ugh. Let's see. No, don't eat. You can't eat my fidget toys. Go on. Go down then, if you're just going to eat my fidget toys. Well, welcome everyone who's been hopping in and out of this. What, are you going to jump? It's around their feeding time, so they always get very weird. Human being sounds like he's describing the U.S., talking about Benjamin Netanyahu describing Iran. The Wild West, LMAO, say how you really feel. And Pixel Snob saying 100. I don't know what that's in relation to. Could be that comment I made about Jank liking the taste of somebody's balls at the back of his throat. I'm just saying. Just saying. And yes, Looney Tunes 9000, Zionism is a dirty word. Gunstroke the Cybertonian, the rebirth of the Nuremberg trials can't come fast enough. Yet, not just with Trump and his administration alone. That seminar I went to, that Zoom seminar from Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, one of the very depressing things that they said in it is that we can't wait for that sort of thing to happen, like the trials and whatnot, because by the time the processes take the time it needs, because there's certain patterns and things that they have to do, like they can't just go on trial. There's all these things that they need to do to get there. It's going to be too late for so many people. We can't wait for the trials. It needs to stop now. It needs to stop a long time ago. Don't eat the buttons off my dress, you dirty kitty. Jet, fascists always gargles each other's stuff. That's what they think recycling is. Well, human being, if you need to escape from this world, I'm my book. Link in the description box below. It's a nice escape and it's very cathartic, actually. Some people who have read the book, even though it's a horror, they're like, we want that world. I want that world. I want that world right now. I'm just seeing it. That sounds rough, Ben. Glad you migrated over here, and I don't know what Ben said. So I'm glad you migrated over here too. Hi, Cynthia, another $5 super chat. You're like funding me today. So long and thanks for all the fish. You're welcome for the fish. Super appreciate it. You've been very generous today. Yes, John Davis, another kitty break. Ah, I jumped. Where was it? Yes, Gunstroke the Cybertonian, not the fidget toys. Don't eat the fidget toys. I got this one for free today at one of the booths. And it's nice because it's an even number. It's a square. And I like that. Jet, my Carl attacks my hair when he gets hungry. LOL. Cats do get weird. I don't normally sleep in my bedroom with the door open, so I had a nap the other day. I don't like napping, but I had come back from a long night of not sleeping. And so I did a nap, and so Lanier and Abernathy were allowed in the bedroom while I was sleeping. And so Abernathy, he starts licking the back of my head and then starts eating my hair. It was not pleasant. What reference? That's Cynthia. Oh, the fish. So long and thanks for all the fish. There was a reference in there? Are you British? And then all the dolphins flew into space, huh? Oh, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Okay. I've seen it once. Have a good night, B-Cat. I'm calling it a night. Oh, yes, I am tired. So I will be doing a news live stream tomorrow. Again, I usually try to focus more on Canadian news. Who knows what's going to be happening between now and then. But there is like a ton of Canadian news that I wanted to touch on. Like Bill C-5 is very important to talk about because it's horrid. And I'm just getting so nauseated by all these Canadians that are like, oh, Mark Carney's doing such a great job. He's so dreamy. He's the man for the moment. Meanwhile, he's passing Bill C-5. One that the Conservatives are like, yay! Again, like all this talk of coalitions and stuff like that, it's like, no. The Liberals and the Conservatives vote together so often, it's ridiculous. Anyway, I am about to pass out. I am very tired, and I still need to shower and stuff because my hair is crunchy, weathered from being out all day in the sun and the sweat and the sunscreen that I had on and everything. So I need to feel clean. I need to feel clean. And yeah, so hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. I don't know what time. It's usually afternoon, evening that I start the streams on Sunday. And then with the heat wave coming in, I'll have more time to just focus here at home because I'm not going out. I've stocked up on goods so I don't have to leave my apartment because I do not do well in the heat. And so hopefully with my other projects out of the way, I can now focus on getting that TYT video done because I need to hurry up and get it done while TYT is still an entity. Because after that debate with Kyle and Crystal, I'm like, yeah, Jank is done. He's done. Like, he is done. Hi, Cynthia. Thank you so much. A Quartz member. You became a Quartz member. Wow. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Okay. So yeah, you guys know all the stuff. You know the stuff. You know the stuff. You know all this stuff here. This stuff, yes. Yeah, and any help with Frodo's ongoing vet bills would be greatly appreciated. E-transfer if you're Canadian to SandeeLovas@gmail.com or the PayPal link in the description box below. All that money goes specifically towards Frodo's vet bills, and I just had to get appetite stimulants and more subdural fluids, which, it's easier shoving the needle in him and squirting the fluids under his skin than it is giving him medication. Because I think when he gets the fluids under the skin, I think after the initial poke, it probably actually feels really good because he like totally relaxes and lets me do it. But I just wanted to make sure that he got enough fluid going into this heat wave. Like I do have air conditioning in the main room and stuff like that, but it's this weird thing that even with air conditioning, it's like your body knows that you're in an oven It's weird like that. So with all of that, let's do, in all of this that let's do this. Salut, à la prochaine. Thank you for watching and stay tuned. I'm Sandy, wishing your tomorrow is better than your today.